Right, so this video is going to be specifically for the people that are doing the crane, and it's going to be about drawing a syringe crane. So you're going to open the file that I've given you, which is your syringe, which is drawn to the right size. Okay, what we're going to do with this is we are going to stick it on its own layer. So I've already created this layer called syringe, and then at the moment it's in 3 parts. There's a part in there as well, so I'm going to select all of them and I'm going to group them, which is Command G. So now when I click them, it's all one group. So the good thing about that is I can't accidentally move part of it out of the way. So I'm going to just regroup it. Okay, so you decide where you're going to start drawing. I'm going to start drawing from the side of my crane. So it's important that you're drawing to the right size. So I will often have a ruler beside me so I can work out in real life how big the line is that I need to draw on the computer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by drawing a line that's 200 millimeters high and move so that we can see this line. Okay, so this line is going to form part of the crane. Okay, so in the last video that I put up, which was the tire one, I showed you how to offset something. So we're going to use offset again. So offset, and I'm going to offset this 50 millimeters, which is quite far. So now I have 2 lines that are 50 millimeters apart. I want it to look a little bit more tapered at the top, so I'm just going to draw a line between there, and I'm going to draw a line from the midpoint of this down to the bottom of this. And then I'm going to delete these 2. So I just want my crane to look like it's got a little bit more, a larger shape at the bottom and a smaller shape at the top. Okay, so if I close these lines off, I can then make a planar surface, which we've gone over in some of the other videos. So typing in planar surface, I now have a surface that's the side of my crane. Now I'm going to suggest that if we do get a chance, we're going to laser cut this stuff out, and we're going to laser cut it out of 3mm MDF. So we're going to get the surface, any surfaces that we draw, and we're going to make them 3mm thick. So you can, in the same way that we offset a curve, you can offset a surface, which is down here. Okay. Solid needs to be turned on. Okay, I think it normally defaults to solid being off, and the distance is 3mm. Now you can see that the arrows are saying it's going to do it out this side. You can flip it so it's going out the other side if it's going the wrong way. And then this is my piece of MDF that we will cut later on. If I wanted to get a little bit more fancy, I could draw some circles in here, and I could copy and paste. Can I copy and paste? Hold down Shift and move it up here. And then you could draw circles through this, create a planar surface again, offset surface, and that will make your crane lighter, obviously, because it will have less wood in it. Okay, so I've got to get my syringe in the right place, so I need my syringe up here. Okay, so get this. Now you can click and drag to move stuff. You can also use the move tool, which is kind of useful in this scenario. So we click the object, and then over here on the left, this is the move tool. So click the move tool. We want to move it from the end point of this, and I want to move it to the end point of this. So the good thing about moving in that way, rather than clicking and dragging, is it snaps 2 things. So I have my syringe up here. Now my syringe currently is pointing the wrong way, so I'm going to need to rotate my syringe. So I'm going to select my syringe, and first of all I want to spin it so it's sticking upright. So I'm going to go to rotate. If I haven't got it selected, it will first ask you which object you want to rotate. So I want to rotate this one, press enter. I want to rotate it around the endpoint, and then it's asking me to put in the angle that I want to rotate. So I'm going to hold down shift to get it to stay in 0s and 90s, and I'm going to click once, and I'm going to move around 90 degrees and click again. So now you can see that my syringe is pointing up in the air. Okay, I'm going to do a bit of clicking and dragging now to get it roughly in the right place. So I'm going to put it here, and then the idea is that my next arm is going to come out in this direction here. So I'm going to rotate it a little bit because I want it to go between this one and the next arm that I have not drawn yet. So I'm going to click here, I'm going to click the end of it. Now I'm not going to hold shift this time because I just want to do it freehand, and I want to rotate it from here to about here. So my next arm of my crane is going to go out through there. So I'm going to draw. I'm just going to turn this off. Well, I'm going to move it to another layer, and I'm going to call this the base. I'm going to click on there because I'm going to work on this layer, which is the top. I'm going to turn the base off for a minute. These lines I currently don't need, so I can hide these lines or I can delete them. So I'm going to hide them because I might want them again later. So I can either right click and I can go hide objects, or I can hold down Command or Shift. We'll stick with doing this. Okay, so then I need to draw my lines out here for the top of my crane. So and show selected objects. Don't think I actually want these hidden in the first place. Okay, so join this together, create a planar surface, right, so I have a planar surface there. Now if I turn the base back on, you can see that my planar surface is on one side of this. So I click my object and offset surface, same as before. Now this is where the flipping is useful. So if I do it that way, then I've made one over the top of the other, which isn't realistic. If I do it the other way, I can put one piece of MDF beside the other piece of MDF, which is realistic. Okay, so get this one and this one. And in the previous video we did mirror, so I'm going to mirror these two objects. And I'm going to mirror it through the midpoint of the syringe, which gives me a crane that sticks out either side of the syringe. I've got a slight problem. My syringe is sticking through the side of this. So what I'm going to do before I mirror that is I'm going to have a look at this view, drag this across a little bit so it's out of the way. Then I'm going to redo that mirror that I just did. Okay, so my syringe is now floating in there. Now I need to create this so it's actually going to work. So I will need to draw some points, hinge points between here and here and here and here, which I will show you in the next video. So I just wanted to get you this far, and then we will work out how to make it actually so it's going to hinge through here. Cool, thanks, see ya.